Hello everyone, did you know we interact with over 1,000 brand messages daily? Hard to believe, right? Let me illustrate this by telling you about my daily morning routine. I wake up to the sound of my alarm on my OnePlus phone, then I freshened up with my Oral-B toothbrush. And I wore my Nike tracksuit, my Adidas shoes, slapped on my Fitbit and went for a jog, as I have been a little health conscious lately. I got back home from my 20-minute jog, which resulted in burning 400 calories. Then I stepped into the shower and used my Nivea shower gel and my Head and Shoulders shampoo with menthol, as I love the cooling and refreshing feel it provides and also keeps the dandruff away. Then I get dressed and I have my breakfast with Quaker Oats and Amul Taza milk with a cup of Nescafe instant coffee. I currently don't own a car, so I requested an Uber as I finished eating my breakfast. My Uber arrives in the next 10 minutes and I'm off to work. Within such a small period, I've interacted with so many brands that I couldn't even keep a count. I hope you too start noticing these small interactions that you have with various brands. So what is a brand? A brand is the difference between me using a normal toothbrush and an Oral-B toothbrush. It is the difference between the motivation I get from wearing my Adidas shoes compared to any other common sport shoes. The word brand originates from the Norse language, which meant a piece of wood. Then the term was used as a verb to mark anything permanently with hot iron. By the 17th century, it was referred to as a mark of ownership, which led people to creating their own marks and symbols. Now in modern day marketing, a brand is identified by its color, shape, logo, font, taglines or slogans. However, a brand cannot be reduced to what it is identified by. Branding has become more competitive and complex, and the desire to create an everlasting memorable mark is a dream of every company. Hence, to understand what a brand is, let me first tell you what a brand is not. It is not your logos, shapes, colors, and symbols, nor it is about your products and services, your advertisements, your website or app. These are the byproducts or the output of your brand, which can be used to strategically shape people's emotions and perceptions about your company. So brands are built by what companies decide they are. It's like creating a person or an entity with emotions and a personality. Hence, brands behave like people, someone we can relate to and see a representation of ourselves in the brand. A brand is embodied in the things that it is associated with, and these associations act as a mental shorthand. For example, consider Dettol. It is a brand we associate with safety, sanitation, and protection. We think of Dettol every time someone gets a bruised knee or was in a serious accident. Isn't it amazing when we ask for an antiseptic, we immediately use the brand name Dettol. Hence, the brand name is used as a verb in the sentence. Similarly, we can see the popular usage of the brand name Colgate instead of toothpaste. We remember these brands for their features and attributes, for their functionality, the emotional benefit they provide, and their personality. Brands are similar to people, and we form impressions and make mental notes about them with every interaction. In the same manner, everything you do or say about a brand as a marketer will influence how people think about you, and every interaction is an opportunity for a brand to define its reputation. This is why the most important thing in a brand is consistency. The reputation that we make as a brand in our first impression must be maintained. We hear it everywhere, from social media influencers to growth hackers, who ask us to be consistent in our messaging. But being consistent becomes difficult when a brand does not have a clear picture of who they are and what do they represent. This is where branding plays a role in business, as it helps your brand to be consistent. This repetition helps to create a picture in people's mind about what to expect. We like it when a brand keeps the promises that they make, as we treat brands as a promise or a commitment. Now that we have a clear understanding of what a brand is, we should focus on how we can apply it to our business. This course covers the entire process to develop a strategy for a new brand, and will help you develop your raw idea into something meaningful that people can care about. We will start with the brand core, which consists of the brand purpose, brand goals, and brand values. After which we'll move on to understanding a brand's personality with the help of Akers' brand dimensions and Jung's brand archetypes. By understanding the dimensions and archetypes, we can decide the brand's tone of voice as to how formal, funny, or witty we want to be in our brand communications. Then we'll have a deeper look in understanding our customers. A brand must always design its products for the customers and their needs. Here you can develop personas for what your ideal customer would be like and represent them on an empathy map and a customer journey. The branding process continues as we develop our brand's positioning by analyzing the brand pyramid and writing a positioning statement that highlights the brand promise. We finally represent these ideas into the brand identity and discuss the type of brand names, brand colors, logos, taglines, and slogans. We will conclude the course by representing our brand identity and our entire branding idea into a brand identity prism and develop our brand story. Thank you so much for listening. In the next course, we'll talk about the brand core. Thank you and keep hustling.